Hey everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you today with an article from Breitbart. This is from, like I've already said a million times in other videos, John Nolte is one of my favorite authors. It says, majority call for prosecutions in Biden Autopen scandal. So it's dated November 4th, and we're just going to jump right in. It says, a majority of 55% say that White House staffers used the presidential Autopen illegally without then-President Joe Biden's knowledge. And I'd believe I would be in that 55%. It says further, a majority of 52% believe this is a crime that should be prosecuted, and I would be a part of that 52% as well. It says from Rasmussen Reports, says 55% of likely U.S. voters consider it likely that, when Biden was president, members of his White House staff used the Autopen to sign documents without Biden's knowledge or approval, including 40% who think it's very likely, capital V, capital L. It says 33% don't believe it's likely Biden staffers used the Autopen without the president's permission, including 18% who say it's not at all likely. Another 12% are not sure. 52% of voters believe that Biden's aides should be criminally prosecuted for unauthorized actions during his administration, Rasmussen adds. And here comes the most interesting number. 32% disagree and 17% are not sure. So only 32% of those polled oppose criminal prosecutions. That's an awfully low number. It says majorities of white and Hispanic voters want to see prosecutions, 53% and 56% respectively. A plurality of black voters also want to see prosecutions, 45% favor, while only 34% oppose. So it seems like we're all on the same side here, so that's good. So this poll of 1,157 likely voters comes on the heels of a congressional investigation that found compelling evidence that members of the Biden administration used the Autopen without Biden's knowledge or permission. In other words, these unelected staffers used the Autopen to play president. I'm sure many of these same staffers go on and on about how President Trump is the one undermining democracy. Yeah, isn't signing things in the president's name because his brain is made of applesauce, isn't that undermining democracy? Hello? Says, as Breitbart News reported earlier, this congressional committee said it found evidence that several executive actions the former president ostensibly took, which include presidential pardons and commutations, were not personally approved by the 46th president. The report further claims that Biden's aides may have used the presidential Autopen, a mechanical device that replicates signatures, to sign off on some of these actions without his knowledge. And Mr. Nolte says, I simply cannot think of anything more anti-democracy than pretending you are the president when you are not. That's even worse than a president doing something seen as anti-democracy. At least the president is an elected figure chosen by the people in our country's only nationwide referendum. Some White House aide signing something as the president without the president's knowledge or approval is like stomping all over the Constitution. We the people are supposed to be governed by those we choose to govern us, not some unelected and unaccountable staffer doing a favor that will win them a job after the president leaves office. Of course, the offender should be prosecuted. The book should be thrown at them. Not just the book, but every book should be thrown at them. So what they did is awful. And anti-democracy, as it were. So, do you agree? Do you think these people should be prosecuted? And was the first one here? Do you think it was illegal? Or do you think they did it without Joe Biden's knowledge? Because I certainly do. I mean, Joe Biden didn't know where he was half the time anyway. So, short article today. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.